This episode of the Multipoint Inspection Podcast is brought to you by Vesperio. Vesperio's Performance Academy offers custom-tailored solutions for service advisors and leaders. From the people who help you know your competition, InteliChek presents the Multipoint Inspection Podcast. The Multipoint Inspection Podcast brings you news and stories from the automotive world told in an informative and entertaining way. When I took my Toyota Tacoma in for its first maintenance at Robinson Toyota a few weeks ago, I had no intention of making a podcast episode out of my visit. I had a lot going on that day. I was hammering out the details of a fairly large online purchase for some gear for the studio, and I had to get back in time to interview Richard Lupo for an update on the devastation caused by Hurricane Helene in his neck of the woods. To be honest, I was just hoping to get out of there in a reasonable amount of time so that I could get back to work. But then I received this.
Your tire that was from the front was at 9:30 seconds. Your tire that was from the rear was also at 9:30 seconds. Taking a look at your brakes today, we're looking at 10 in the front, looking all nice and good on those front rotors and brakes.
As much as I have praised the video MPI on this podcast, I've never been the recipient of one until now. And when my truck was ready with plenty of time to spare to get to my interview, I asked to speak to the Fixed Operations Director. In this Dealership Spotlight edition of the Multipoint Inspection Podcast, I talked with Ronnie Patterson of Robinson Toyota in my hometown of Jackson, Tennessee, about what this dealership is doing to wow its customers, including myself.
My name is Ronnie Patterson. I'm the Fixed Operations Director at Robinson Toyota here in Jackson, Tennessee.
Ronnie's path to a career in automotive isn't the typical one.
Not the background you normally hear, I grew up in the industry or things like that. I actually came in to sales after a previous career in retail. I was actually with Camelot Music, you might remember back in the day. And that's actually what got me here to Jackson. As we all know, things don't last forever. At that point in my career, I was ready just to be a peon. I didn't want to be a manager anymore. I didn't want to be responsible for anything. I saw an ad in the paper. It was for Golden Circle Ford, advertising for salespeople. To be honest, that was the first time probably the second time I'd ever walked into a dealership. Growing up, my parents were totally anti-dealership. Don't go there. They're going to take all your money, all that good stuff. So I believed that up until really I got the job selling cars. And while sales was great, it wasn't necessarily my cup of tea. But during that time frame, I learned about the service department, parts department. I thought, man, if I ever got the opportunity, that would be a cool job to have. Problem solving, helping customers out, to me was a lot more enjoyable than probably trying to sell cars. So lo and behold, about a year into it, I got a chance to come over here to Robinson Toyota and write service. At that time, it was me and the service manager, and I think we had 5 techs, a couple of folks in parts, and that was about it. This was in 1999. Toyota was number 4. They still weren't huge, still growing, and got in, wrote service for a few years. Service manager opportunity came open, and I got promoted there and was service manager up until about 4.5 years ago when we opened up the title of Fixed Operations Director, and I assumed that role. Got me a replacement for my service manager. It's been a great time and a lot of fun, really, the whole time. I mean, there's been the ups and downs. You might remember Toyota even at one time were accused of running away on their own back in, I guess it was around 07, 08. It's just been really good to me. This is a single point family-owned store. They have been great people to work for. I think you find it hard-pressed to find anybody that has worked for them over the past to have a bad thing to say. I mean, it's just been a really great opportunity. They've allowed me to do, whatever it is I feel we need to do. They've let me run the department as if it were mine. Being able to do the creative things that we've done over the past few years really has made it a lot of fun, to be honest.
Ronnie says that the Robinson Toyota of today is barely recognizable compared to the dealership he went to work for in 1999.
So we were actually across the street from Golden Circle Ford in the Honda store. When Mr. Robinson bought the store, I believe he bought it in 97. It had come across some financial difficulties. I believe they only had one new car on the lot and had to pay COD for all the parts and stuff that they would get every week. So we've definitely grown a lot since then. I bet you we probably didn't have 20 employees when I first started. Just last week, I think we have 77 employees, something like that now. So, I mean, it's really been a good thing.
I strategically purchased my truck in 2023 from Robinson because it was the last of the V6 Tacomas, which have been nicknamed the Million Mile Motor. This led to a conversation about Toyota's reputation for quality.
We're actually a part of a couple of different 20 groups, like once every 4 months, I get together with 20 other dealers from across the country, all Toyota dealers, all sizes, shapes. But there's also many locations that have more than one brand and things like that. So you get to hear the horror stories of everywhere else. And I think that's probably one of the things, being that it was Toyota, not realizing how good I had it, but I really think that's one of the things that enabled me to continue to do what I was doing here, because Toyota has been a great manufacturer to work for. Although I couldn't tell you anything about the other ones, I do hear that Toyota is definitely on top when it comes to, warranty repairs, customer service, and things like that. I've seen some truly amazing things over the years that Toyota has stepped up and done, and I'm sure other manufacturers do the same thing, but it's been a cool deal. Growing up, my parents did only own Toyotas, so it's kind of like it's always been a part of me to actually work for them. And like I said, we were number 4 back then, and I think we've been number 1 10 out of the last 11 years, but maybe even longer than that. It's just been a good journey. It's not something you're embarrassed to say that I work for Toyota or am affiliated with Toyota.
I was super impressed with the quality of customer service I received during my first visit at Robinson Toyota. So I asked Ronnie, what was their secret?
It's 100% the people. I learned a long time ago, if you surround yourself with good people, you look really good. You don't have to be that good, but you look really good. That's what I've done, from technicians to the parts department to service advisors, even my porters in the lane. We've come to expect a lot out of the folks. The culture is just ingrained in us from the get-go that we're here for the customer and we want to do whatever we can to make that customer happy. So that just kind of filters down from the top or filters up from the bottom, however you want to look at it. It really makes a difference having the right people. We have a lot of people that have been with us 5, 10, 15, 20 years. I have a tech back there that's been here longer than I have. So, I mean, it just shows you we don't have a lot of turnover. And I think that also helps with the customer service. And, as a customer, I would think coming in, you like to see the same people time after time after time. And it may not always be that way at other dealerships. We've just kind of really made it cultural to have the best people here. We don't tolerate any cancer or anything like that. If they don't fit in with us, we quickly say goodbye and we'll bring somebody else in, We just haven't had to do a whole lot of that. And I think that helps a whole lot as well.
And while turnover is low at Robinson, I asked Ronnie about his hiring process when he does need to find new talent.
I would like to think I'm a great interviewer. I've probably interviewed 1,000 people over my lifetime. And I tell you, I will still miss things. You've got that one, usually 15 to 30 minute shot interviewing someone where you're trying to make all of your decisions based on, what they're telling you at that point. It's kind of a liar's club both ways a little bit, It's personality. Do I feel that person's going to have the personality to relate with the team and what we have going on? As I said before, we don't want any cancer in here. We don't want somebody coming in and souring up the processes or anything like that. So we really pay a lot of attention to more of personality. I don't do any personality test or anything, but you can get a pretty good feel about how somebody is after 15, 20 minutes of talking with them. I feel you're a pretty good guy now. So, I mean, we've talked about 15, 20 minutes now. So you get the feeling early on. And if it's not a right fit, we're not going to hire them. I mean, it's just that simple. We might be shorthanded, but we're going to stay shorthanded a little longer until we get that right person. Doesn't make any sense just to try to fill a slot with whoever you can fill it with and expect good results out of it.
you visit Robinson Toyota, you'll see the word WOW posted all over the dealership. According to Ronnie, this is more than just a campaign, it's the way this store chooses to operate.
Well, I've got a lot of POP. We spend a lot of money on even the floor mats have WOW on them. Or are you ready for your WOW experience? My porters have shirts. Are you ready for your WOW experiences? Our call center that answers the phones, and I haven't checked in a while, but they were answering, how can we wow you today? WOW is just a frame of mind, and anything we can do, however little it is, to wow the customer, that's kind of what we're all about. It's really been a couple of years. I was looking for a service advisor. I knew we always got good surveys here at the store, and my advisors' names were mentioned a whole lot. And I got the idea, hey, if I go to these other dealers and look on their Google reviews, I might be able to pick up a good advisor just by the customers talking about how good they are. I mean, it happens here. Why wouldn't it happen anywhere else? And what I found is it doesn't happen anywhere else. I found that most customers on the other dealers' websites, if they're going to talk about the service department, it's going to be because they had a problem and it wasn't handled correctly. There were not a whole lot of shout outs or good jobs or attaboys being posted. And when I went and I thought about it, I was like, wow, we've got something going on here that nobody else does. We need to figure a way to bottle it and sell it, I guess, is the way that came about. So last November, we had a 20 group in Jacksonville, Florida. And one of the guys in my 20 group works at Beaver Toyota there in St. Augustine. And we did a store visit there. And one of the big things they had was wow. That everywhere you look was a wow pricing, wow this, wow that. And I thought, well, that's awesome. I really like how they did that. I said, I'm going to take this idea. I'm going to come up with my own word, and I'm going to implement what I want to do. We got back to the store and I was like, come on, we got to come up with something, Wow ended up being the best word you could use. I mean, if somebody has a wow experience, it's usually a really good one or it's a really bad one. It's a wow experience. So I wanted to make some changes as far as how we did maintenance menus and just revamp our processes and everything. And I thought, what a great way to put it under the WOW umbrella. As far as customer service goes, I shouldn't have to do anything. If you go and look at our surveys, especially my service department, they're talking about Vince, Anthony, Jonathan, everyone, Lynn, everybody gets shout outs. And that just, to me, is awesome. We're not asking for that. We don't beg for our surveys or anything like that. I tell you, I got one in just Saturday, as a matter of fact. And it was a lady. She actually called Toyota. She wanted to call out Spencer, one of my advisors. She was there with 6 kids and getting a service done. And in the middle of the service, her credit card company calls and says, hey, we're having to cancel your credit card because there's fraud. And this lady's whole visit was going downhill in a handbasket quickly. The advisor, Spencer, he happened to hear what was going on. We've got some Matchbox cars and stuff that we'll give to the kids and stuff. So they made sure that the kids had something to play with. And then he pulls out $10 out of his pocket and offers it. He's like, this is all I got, but this can get you gas or whatever you need. And the lady was overwhelmed. She didn't take his money, but she did take the time to call Toyota and tell them what a great thing that was. That's the kind of thing that happens day in and day out. I don't ever see it unless it's something like this, but that's just the kind of quality that the WOW is. And that's what we strive for. There's really no one definition or anything like that. In fact, when I kicked this off, I said, there's many places you can go get a steak in town. You can go to Flatiron Grill and, you're going to pay a good penny, but you're going to get great service, great atmosphere. I said, you can go to Logan's. You can get a steak there. If you want a steak, you can get a steak at Logan's too. It's not going to be quite the experience you have at the Flatiron, but it's not going to cost you near as much either. And so it all boils down to what kind of experience can we give the customer that's different from anywhere else. And we're not the cheapest by any means, but I really think we fulfill the reason as to why we're a little bit more, because we do above and beyond what you're going to get in most other dealerships, especially around here in West Tennessee.
We'll learn more about the WOW program, how Robinson Toyota discovered video MPI and True Video, and more after a word from our sponsor. The Vesperio Performance Academy offers custom-tailored solutions for service advisors and leaders. We allow you to select exactly what you want based on your store's needs. After taking our customized learning path survey, we use those results to tailor a learning path specifically for you. You'll have access to our complete learning library. and you can test what you've learned with our knowledge checks. And for managers, our easy-to-use admin dashboard allows you to easily see current activity from your team and access reports quickly. Vesperio's Performance Academy promotes advisor and manager engagement and communication by including the manager after every concept an advisor completes. Vesperio also allows users the ability to add custom dealership assets and processes that all live in one location. To get a look inside the Performance Academy or to get your team started today, go to Vesperio.com. That's Visperio.com. Ronnie sent me a copy of the WOW program for service advisors, and from the outside looking in, it appeared to me that this was a comprehensive overhaul from the way things had been done in the past. So I asked Ronnie if he received any pushback from his team.
Nobody wants to change. We came in on March 1st, I believe. We changed everybody's job. Everybody had a different job they were used to the day before. You saw the service advisor presentation, but we also had a presentation for sales. We had a presentation for line technicians. We had a presentation for lube technicians, for the parts department. Everybody had their own segment. And we spent a couple of weeks before we actually launched the program and had meetings at night and kind of training sessions. This is how we're going to do things. There wasn't a lot of problems with any buy-in. We typically don't have that issue at all. Almost 3 years ago, we instituted video multipoint inspections. At my 20 groups, most stores that we talk with are paying technicians to do the video multipoint and things like that. I think we've always been clear and up front, hey, we're going to make everybody more money. Your technicians are going to make more money. The service advisors, everybody is going to make more money if we do this, whether it be video multipoints or my guys are really good about, okay, let's give it a shot. We've just established enough history in the past that generally anything that we do, and this is what we say, and it comes to pass. If everybody does their part, it generally is successful. Of course, COVID taught us a lot about change. So nowadays, change is really not a bad thing. We feel you've got to continue to change. Akio Toyota has a great saying that there is no best, only better. And what that means is once you say you're the best, you tend to give up. I'm here, I've made it, and I'm the best. If you're constantly trying to get just a little better, and we kind of keep that's part of our culture, I guess, is we always want to be just a little better than we were yesterday. I've often said, if a customer comes in here and has a bad experience, because it does happen. I mean, everybody's human. But if they come here and they're like, that was terrible, I'm going to go somewhere else. I hope, that when they go wherever else they go, wow, it wasn't that bad after all. I hope our worst day is better than anybody else's best day. So it's a mindset that everyone has, I really feel is what contributes to the success of the overall program for sure.
One thing that jumped off the page at me in the Service Advisors WOW program was the shift from giving customers a free oil change if their experience was less than stellar to giving out Visa gift cards instead. Ronnie explains.
Up until we launched the WOW program, it was common, the customer's upset or whatever. Hey, we'll give you the oil change for you. We'll give it to you for free. Sorry about that. Here you go. And it's just forgotten about, done. I started doing the math on that, for a $70 oil change that it cost us, if we eat it, it actually cost us about $1,100, I believe, if I remember correctly, if you look at the money that was lost and how much money it takes to recoup that. And then I thought, is the customer really happy that they got the oil change free? Is there something we could do better? And so the $25 gift card, in my mind, thought, what if we gave them a gift card? And what this does is they're going to put it in their pocket. They might use it later that day. It might be a week down the road, but whatever, they're going to pull this gift card out. And they're going to remember, hey, there was a problem, but look how they took care of me. And I know it's a lot less than what an oil change would cost, but it's real money to a customer. So they remember. And if we took care of them properly, it's going to be a good experience to use the gift card. They're going to remember that's pretty cool. It bought me lunch or whatever, hey, got my kids some gas. Here, take this gift card. And so it has done really well. I haven't had hardly any kickback from anybody like, well, I expected a free oil change, and being that it's only $25, we might give it just as a goodwill. Mr. Johnson, we noticed it took an hour and a half. Normally it takes us 30 minutes. We apologize, and we'll offer that up front before anything's said. The advisors each have their own, and they're able to just give it right then. They don't have to come to us. They don't have to ask for permission or anything like that. It's whatever you need to do to take care of your customer right then. Customer comes in and we got 9 of the 10 parts and missed that 10th part and didn't realize it. And the customer's sitting here and we're like, we didn't catch that and we could have saved you a trip. Here's the gift card. We apologize. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll have your part. It's something tangible in people's hands that they're able to actually remember. Yes, there was a problem, but they totally took care of me in the end.
And then there's the video MPI.
I think my technicians would quit. I think the advisors would quit if I said we weren't going to do those anymore, because we first saw this probably 3.5, 4 years ago. Mr. Robinson, the owner, has multiple vehicles, and one of them was a BMW, and he took it to the BMW store there in Memphis. And I guess they had just gotten on to this video MPI, and they had sent him a video MPI, and he was like, look at this. And I was like, wow, that is really cool. Of course, you look now, there's all kinds of companies that are doing it. It's pretty much become the standard. But back then, there wasn't a whole lot. I believe iService was the big company that was doing those. And unfortunately, it wouldn't work with our system as far as the way we have it now. The technician, he does the video. He sends it to the customer, kind of bypasses the advisor. He sends it to the advisor as well, but it goes straight to the customer from the technician. And what that allows is that technician to get the information they want personally to the customer. Whereas before it would have to go through the advisor, and there was always, the advisor didn't tell him this, or he forgot to say this or that. And so this was the direct line to the customer. So now they're able to do the video. It goes straight to the customer. There is no surprises on the advisor end as far as, oh my gosh, I can't believe you sent that. It's all looped together, and it works really, really well. And like I say, if I told them we were turning it off tomorrow, I really think I would have people quit, because and I don't even know who did your video, but I've watched many, many videos, and these guys really have it down really good. I'm impressed at how good they have them. Me and Joseph, we were at an NADA show in Vegas 3 years ago, and we happened to be walking around the back side of the convention and happened to see True Video. Let's get their take real quick. They were able to work regardless of what DMS system you have. It didn't matter, because it was kind of a standalone thing, and that's what hooked us with them. And they were surprisingly super cheap compared to everybody else. And we signed on with them that trip right then, and we came back and kind of let everybody know what we were doing, and of course everybody's like, oh my gosh, videos. I'm a technician. I'm not a video guy, but like I say, giving the direct voice straight to the customer, I really think gives the technician a feeling of, this is what's going on, this is what's broken. They don't have pricing or anything like that. In your case, I believe yours was the very first service. So Toyota pays for the first 2 years of maintenance, and we want, after you get out of that first 2 years, we want you to come back, because you're getting the video and you're getting all of those things. It's a really good program. We've been really happy with True Video, so it's worked out really well for us.
I asked Ronnie if there were other new technologies that Robinson employs to make for a better customer experience and increase revenue.
It's crazy. When texting first came out, I can remember, don't text your customers. That's terrible. Nobody wants to get a text. They want to, nowadays, nobody wants a phone call. They want a text. It's like, don't call me, whatever you do. We've had that in place for a while. Probably our biggest technology that we've added when we did this, the alignment checkers, the in-lane alignment checkers. So when you pull into our lane, we can tell you before you get out of the car whether your vehicle meets the alignment specs and the tread wear of your tires. Are they in 530 seconds, 630 seconds, 130 seconds? We're able to let you know that as we're writing up the vehicle. So that helps a whole lot. Normally before then, people didn't get alignments unless they bought a set of tires or they actually had an issue. It's amazing to see how many vehicles are truly, it's upward of 60% of the vehicles that come through, especially around here. You can't get to the dealership without going over a bunch of terrible roads. So you'd think they would all be bad, but they're not. But I mean, things like that, you normally wouldn't be able to save somebody's tires until it was too late with an alignment issue. It's like, wow, my right front's bald and none of the other ones are. What's up? And it's your alignment's out. Well, now you need to buy some tires. So I really couldn't think of anything extra above and beyond besides that we really, the video's been probably the biggest game changer of all in the last few years. Before then, you'd have the paper multi-point inspection form, and everybody got that, and those tended to be pencil whipped really easily. Green, or you just didn't get the same type of inspection as you're getting. For sure we're looking at your vehicle. If we say there's something wrong, you're seeing it with your own eyes, and that's something we weren't able to do unless the customer was waiting, and we went in, grabbed them. Hey, come here, take a look at this, and now, Mrs. Jones might be sitting there. She gets the video, whereas before she'd have to try to explain it to her husband or kids or whatever, this is what they're saying. Well, now she can send them the video. And in fact, the video is viewed, the last time I checked, it was 2.7 times every time we sent a video. So it was obviously being shown to other people. And of course, every time they're showing the video to someone else, unless they're one of our customers, they got to be going, wow, this is amazing, the videos, which is something we just opened up last month, where we kind of have an independent shop inside of our shop. We're now working on all makes and models. So I've got 3 techs that set up to do this for, Ford, Chevys, whatever. We sell all different types of vehicles, and now we're able to service and repair them as well. So the videos is probably one of the coolest things. And I'm amazed, at least the last time I checked, nobody in Jackson anyway is doing that. So it could be different now, but yeah, I don't believe anybody is.
And here are some of Robinson Toyota's success stories by the numbers.
CSI, this morning we were 4.74, and that's through Toyota on a 5.0 scale. So that's through year to date. We look at that, and then we also look at our Google reviews, are basically the only things we look at. And I think I'm at 4.6 there. It's not something I really brag about. I look at that as we're doing a good job. We're doing what the customers are expecting. And that, in the end, that's what keeps them coming back. My retention rate, things like that you really don't really see the numbers on. Those kind of metrics, to me, show that everything is working and things along those natures. Our average vehicle is 10 years old and over 100,000 miles. That says a lot. People aren't just leaving after the free services from Toyota. I think you'll find we have a huge conversion as far as they stay with us. And I like to think it's because I have probably the top advisors in West Tennessee working, as well as the top technicians on fixing whatever it is that needs to be taken care of. So all of those things together, to me, show that we are definitely doing the right thing. That's kind of what I look at to gauge, because in the end, that's the customer's going to say what it's going to say. And kind of like how we started this off, when I was looking, to steal an advisor from somewhere else, and all you saw were bad surveys at any of the dealers that I was looking at. That just really says a lot to me that we are doing the right things and taking care of our customers like we should. We spend a lot of time. I've got my service manager and parts managers, top notch. All 3 of us have spent a lot of time together getting, menus priced and, how we're going to handle this and that. And I tell you, it's been a lot of fun. We've really enjoyed the WOW program, and it just continues to grow and grow and grow. So it just continues to evolve, I guess would be a better word. Things are good, man.
I'd like to personally thank Ronnie Patterson and Robinson Toyota for their excellent customer service and for a most excellent interview. You can find the Multipoint Inspection Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And be sure to subscribe and give us a 5-star rating. It helps with the algorithm thingy. Executive producers for the Multipoint Inspection Podcast are Melissa Marlette and Joe Gibson. It is written, produced, and narrated by me, Brandon Barnett. This episode's featured music is Better Sweater by Desert Dive. And check out the full uncut interview on InteliChek's YouTube channel, where we talk about the classic Toyotas featured in the Robinson Toyota showroom. This episode was made possible thanks to a proud partnership with Vesperio, which provides tailored solutions to ignite automotive dealership fixed operations, performance, and profit.